first off, want to wish everybody out there, especially all the Bearcats, a Merry Christmas. Um, I'm glad this group's going to get away for 3 days to spend some time with family. I think it's much needed. Um, and I think about the guys like Aziz and Victor and Seamas that actually don't get to see their family. And so that's I told the guys in the locker room, we owe it to them to make the most of that time with our loved ones. And so I'm looking forward to seeing my parents and my siblings and, getting away from it for a couple. I don't know if I'll get away from it mentally or working on it, but just getting with some family. So Merry Christmas to everybody out there, and I'm glad these guys get a break. I'm glad we won. Sometimes the game before Christmas is a difficult one. Stetson's a really, really nice basketball team. When you look down, they're coming in here at 7-5 with the schedule they've played, and being at that level before. It's 7-5 with the schedule they play. That means you're a damn good team in December. So I knew it would not be easy. Their backcourt was pretty damn good tonight, and I was trying to be guys. We got 3 days off, so I was trying to be positive. But the one thing I said, we can't let guys come in here and get 30. I mean, I just can't do that. But hats off. Blackman's a terrific player, and he plays with a lot of freedom. And if you give him daylight, I thought John did a really, really nice job on him early in the game. And then I thought John wore down. We were trying to just ride John out to guard him because we subbed John out and put Jizzle on him. And Jizzle had a freshman segment there. He had a couple of them today, but that was one of them. And we're going to need to find some guys on the perimeter that can take challenges on. But I thought as the game wore on, John lost a step a little bit, and then we start putting him on the foul line, and then we lose him a little bit. Dan loses. So I give him credit. He was terrific tonight, but I'd like us to be better. So I'm not happy about that. I'm really not happy about the free throws. That's 2 out of 3 games. We're putting somebody in line 29, 30 times. We got to make. I'm out there arguing calls, but the fact of the matter is, we got to make a better effort. We got to make a better effort to play with more defensive savvy. Sometimes we're taking paths defensively that are giving advantages to the defense for no reason out on the floor. And we tried to make some adjustments in practice because we were struggling with the concept. And that's putting us in some precarious positions. And then we just got to make a little more effort to get in legal guarding position and make people make them over the top. And if they make them over the top, so be it. People are going to make some shots, but just keep putting people on the foul line. It's really frustrating. And I promise you that we're aware of it. We're working on it. And our guys got to kind of make a conscious decision that's important to them. I thought we were a little careless with the ball at times. I thought, Jamil, he's got to get the rust off and get his footwork back because the footwork turnovers are killing us because we got the ball at 3 or 4 feet and we're traveling. He had 3 of them, I think, in the first half. I thought Vic just wasn't tight with the ball early. So you look down at halftime and they got 5 or 6 turnovers between the 2 of them. But I thought both of them tightened up a little bit in the second half. There's a lot of stuff that I thought to start the second half we casual with the ball and we had a couple times in transition to get out and run, and we hold the ball too long, don't share it, and turn it over, and you felt like there was times and opportunities to push the game out to 15, 20-point leads in the second half, and we weren't able to capitalize on that, so I was frustrated there. But all in all, I'm glad that we won the game before Christmas. I think that's a good basketball team. Being in a game late, that's good for our development. We're going to be in games, so having to execute in the last 4 minutes was good for us. But I didn't think that if we tightened up a little bit, we had to be in that position.
The fouling situation, any inkling as to why it's so Jekyll and Hyde? Because there'll be games where it won't be a problem at all, and then the next game they'll be at the line 30 times.
Yeah, I have opinions.
Can we hear them?
I'll just stick to this. There's some habits defensively that create more consistency to not foul people. Okay, and we show the ability to do that. but we got to turn that into who we are. And we have some guys with some really bad habits. Okay, and so then, but they're good kids and they're trying, and whether it looks like it or not, we're freaking coaching. So when they're locked into it in practice, or when they're fresh and they're mentally there, yeah, they can play without fouling. But then fatigue, the moment, whatever it may be, bad habits come out. I mean, and I always say, if I'm talking negative about John Newman's defense, then think about how the hell everybody else is playing, right? But like John gets fatigued tonight. And we wrote it, I said it after the game, I played him too many minutes. I got to learn my lesson there. Like, somebody else has to be able to go in and guard a kid like that. But John gets fatigued, and all of a sudden he's committing fouls he didn't commit the first 24 minutes of the game, 28 minutes of the game. So there's an example. Like, when fatigue happens, you start giving in. So is that some edge and toughness that we got to create as a team to never give in? Is it guys like Day that just have some really bad habits when they're trying to cut a guy off, just hipping them? I mean, we're giving our back to the ball sometimes around the basket, and I think those are tough calls because it's not like we're jumping into anybody. I mean, Vic, on that last animal on the Blackman, like, he turns his back to the guy. He doesn't, like, come into him or foul him, but, I mean, turn your damn chest to the ball and work hard to get in legal guarding position. I know Vic can do it. I see him do it. He can be a great rim presence, but it's going to take a little something more. And that I'm not just picking on a couple guys. Like, it's the whole team, and it's a mentality. But then sometimes we're taking bad paths and we're in precarious positions because of that. So we're trying to make some defensive adjustments to tighten our defense up. We've been pretty good at working on it in practice, but it's that transition. We weren't great at it tonight.
How much easier is your job, and how much better is this team when that Dan Skillings shows up?
Scott, that might be your greatest question in the 2 years that I've known you. I mean,
So I've had some pretty lousy ones.
that's not what I'm saying, but it's more of a statement than a question, and it's true. You know, we need some guys to emerge. We all know Dan's capable of it. Everybody that watches knows. I mean, his talent's obvious. And tonight, and we talked about this, him and I, earlier today. It has to start with him defensively. Like, it has to start there. Like, he's got to go into the game, and he's got to be really, really energized to make an impact defensively. He usually always makes an impact on the offensive board, which is something that I think is a standard he's got to stay with. And then he's just got to play the right way. And I thought he did that tonight for the first time in a really long time. And what happens? The ball just finds him. And then all of a sudden you look down and he's scoring the hell out of it. And then he has one possession after he might have had 10 at this point or something. I wasn't counting, but he'd scored a little bit. And then he has one possession that he gets it at the top of the floor. It sticks. He puts his head down and he goes and turns it over. And it's like, stop that. Like, move the ball. Because when you just guard, rebound, do your job and play hard, he's a natural scorer. He's going to score. And so I thought, for the most part tonight, he just played, and he played hard. In the first half, I thought he really got it going. He could be a great defender for us. We need him to be. We need somebody other than John to do that. You can see possessions tonight where he showed the capability of doing that, and then you can see possessions where he relaxes, and it's like, bang, three. You know, we take John out because he's dying or gets his fourth foul, and then it's like and then you see the next possession, Dan gets to a screen and blows it up and, you know, stops Blackman and gets it out of his hands, and you're like, okay. But we need that Dan Skillings to continue to. Doesn't mean he's got to shoot it like that every night, but we need that kind of mentality. I believe in the kid as much as you could believe in a young person. He's trying, and so we do need him to keep trending that way every night.
Coach, we saw Vic and Jamil together tonight. How much are those two able to play off one another with the different skill sets?
They could be a phenomenal group because they're both good passers and they both have really good feel for the game. I've challenged actually those two, and they basically haven't played together in practice since October, right? And I am not, guys. I don't make excuses. Like, I'm not. It's just the truth. Because as the season starts, we're trying to get Odie and Vic playing together, or Vic or Odie playing as the single big with 4 guards. And then Aziz comes, so then we're trying to get Aziz and Vic with Odie in there a little bit, and then maybe Aziz or Vic with 4 guards. And so Jamil has been on the other team in practice. He has not played with Aziz. He's not played with Vic. So the last week since he got cleared, I've been trying to play him and Vic together a lot, so they start to get that connection together, because it could be fun. The question is, can we do the right things defensively to make it work? And that was kind of the debate we were having on the sideline tonight. We were actually about to sub and go small, and then we had a really good offensive possession. We got to stop. We had another one. We decided to stick with it for a little bit.
2 more.
You guys have 19 assists tonight, 7 for CJ Frederick. Did you feel like the backcourt, the ball was pinging around and just moving really well in the flow of the offense throughout the game?
Yeah, outside of the 9 turnovers, and I felt like we had 39. Outside of some of the careless stuff, turning the ball over, we've really emphasized getting the ball moving. And the kids are buying into it. But again, as the possessions wear on and the game goes back and forth, sometimes old habits show up. But we're really trying to get it moving and get to multiple actions and multiple sides. And sometimes when you do that, you turn it over a little bit more at the beginning. Sometimes you're going to get late shot clock, which you guys saw that happen a little more than usual. And it's just part of it. If you want the ball to move more and you want offense to turn over more, there's going to be some negative side effects to that. But I do think that's really important for this team. And I thought it was significantly improved tonight than it's been the last couple of weeks.
Speaking of CJ Frederick, he looked to appear to tweak that hamstring there early in the second half. So that's just something minor. I mean, obviously he was able to come back in, but just something minor there for CJ.
You guys didn't have him up here. I haven't had a chance to visit with him yet, but he practiced yesterday, and we played him really heavy minutes today. 33, my gosh, with Seamas. Seamas had the shoulder injury yesterday, and I don't think it's serious. We've already done an MRI and all that, so nobody needs to freak. But found out a lot of it had to do with the car accident. So when we did the MRI, he had something that's a couple weeks old, and you see the car crash. It's right where he hit the windshield. We actually have tape of that now, and it's insane. It's violent. It's I just saw that today. It's wild, but he's had a tough go of it, Seamas. I mean, it's just like one thing after the other. And I think he felt like he was starting to find an offensive rhythm the last couple games. But it was that was the last play in practice yesterday. But I do think he's going to be fine. He just got to get that shoulder to calm down a little bit. But when you talk, Seamas is out. It's going to mean extended minutes for CJ, right? And I thought he handled it well, given that he hasn't done a whole lot this week. I hope his hamstring's all right. This 3-day break's probably needed for him.
Some of that was attacking closeouts, playing a little bit more off the bounce for CJ. Was that by design, or was it just flow of the game stuff?
I thought as the ball moves, CJ's going to benefit. CJ has such a natural feel for how to play, which is why you look down, he's got 7 assists, because as the ball moves and as we start sharing it again, I thought we did it great early in the season. But as we start trying to share it again and turn it over, guys like CJ are going to really benefit, because he just has a great feel for it. He really does. So he's going to make the right pass, get more shots. And I thought he attacked a couple closeouts where I wanted to shoot the ball, and I'm sure everybody else felt that way. But you don't overcoach kids like him. You let him play.
That's good.
Thanks.